What's up, everybody? See if anybody comes in here. What's up, everybody? We are live. I was triggered earlier. Triggered. Oh, looks like YouTube's doing its thing. We've got a couple of people in here. Let's see. Go to home. Go to my channel. Seriously, YouTube? This is dumb. All right, there we go. Finally. There we go. Oh, let's see. Get some people in here. Look at Jeff in the house. You like the thumbnail there, Jeff? Oh, let's see. We get some people in here. Let's see. We've got Daniel Adami, Nomadic Brit, GNC Family Truck, and Don Shonger. Bob G, what's up? Pale Rider TV. Oh, wow, I lost my wrench. What a surprise. Ugh. Brian Ludwig Jr., what's up, dude? Cool Trucking, finally getting notified. Big Houston. Daniel Adami says, I don't know what I did to deserve that, but whatever. It's just blue lettering, Daniel Adami. And I know I've been irritating you lately, so I don't know why it's even that important. Nomadic Brit doesn't have a wrench. Let's see, Dying Breed, Truckers Education Network, i.e. Jeffrey Like. Mr. Berger, how's it going? I've been meaning to talk to you for a little bit, but I get a Snorelord, hates me anyway, says no surprise and supposedly irritate him somehow. Let's see, welcome back. You also, you never had a wrench, welcome back. Let's see, Burger House of Family. Play me a sad song, please. Pale Rider, I've got my thoughts and prayers out for you, sir. I'm sorry your truck is being lame. The Trucker's Table, yo. Now, I've got a beef with the Trucker's Table. You know, he photobombed me one time in Ohio at a dog food place. And I had some bacon. I was going to make friends with this dog, but he wouldn't let me pet his dog. And I don't know why. And then he wouldn't let me give him bacon either. So Triple T would not let me pet his dog. I think it's because I've made I think it's because I've made Landstar jokes. I think that's what it is. Photobomb is when you come up behind somebody unexpectedly and you're a part of their photograph uninvited. So that's not true. You can pet Ducky. No, you wouldn't. You said it wasn't a good idea, and you wouldn't let me give him bacon to be his friend. I'm just giving you hell, Triple T. So, Daniel Adami, can you not bring drama into my channel, please? I mean, come on, dude. I took a couple of wrenches away. Let's talk about something here, okay? I was just in a texting with somebody, Pale Rider, go watch a video of Truckers and Troubadours, a quarantine session. You and Snorelord Tex are in it. Did you see? Oh, we're in it? Well, you didn't say that much, LBC. Nah, people send me links all the time to videos, and I miss out because I forget them, right? You know, I don't listen. I'm like everybody that calls me. Nobody listens to me, so it's all right. Let's see. Nomadic Brit is not wrenched because he waves a British flag on American soil. It should be a white flag. Nobody blocked Daniel. Nobody blocked Daniel. Okay. So I've got a little bit of a rant. I am not the be all end all of trucking. I am not the smartest truck driver. I am not the smartest businessman. I've had my struggles and I've had my victories, right? And I've had my defeats, right? You know, Thomas Wilson said he liked my channel because I was honest and I talked about the good and the bad and the ugly of being an owner operator and also being on the truck driver. And I have people that come to me for advice, and I have gotten to the point that I'm no longer offended if you don't follow my advice. Lord, all lies. And and but I am going to throw some common sense at you. If I sit here and do this chord or that note for the next 10 minutes, that would get annoying, especially if I don't say anything, right? If I just continue to do this, I'll just do that for the next 10 minutes. What would that do? That would drive you nuts. You could come up with a melody for it. You can make fun of me. You could be annoyed. But the fact is, if I do this for 10 minutes, you're going to remember, okay? That is called consistency. When you do the same thing over and over and over. Now, if you want to succeed at anything, whether it's at business, being a drug addict, you know, whatever's, I mean, everything in between, if you consistently do the same thing every single time, that's what you're going to succeed at. Right? So, here's the point I'm trying to make. In order to be successful, you have to have consistency. Okay? You want 12 hours? I don't know. You want 12 hours of me doing this? I was going to start this hour. You know, do that, right? I'm not doing that for 12 hours. My right hand would not like that. And I'm going to bring up Pale Rider. Pale Rider has consistently stayed at the same place except for 1 month for as long as I've known him. I've known him for like 10, 11 years now. And he's paid off. He's close to paying off his third lease truck. Now, how is he doing that? Through consistency, right? And the one time that he strayed from his consistency, it bit him in the butt. He had to get a second truck. Am I right, Pale Rider? And he hasn't changed ever since, okay? I talk to people that consistently change their plans. And then they go back to the original point of the circle, and they end up succeeding when they go back to original plan. Now, I have no problem with evolving. I have no problem with improvising. I have no problem. And I had a really good conversation about Ratman with this, with Ratman about this. as long as you're consistent in your plan. And sometimes your plan, you just have to tread water and stay afloat. Every day that you are in business is a day forward, right? Progress is attained through consistency. Now, at Landstar, that was difficult for me to achieve. It was feast or famine in the loads that I was looking at. Now, Triple T put up some really good numbers, and that is great. His numbers are way better than my numbers ever were at Landstar. And I commend him for it because that's really good. To have those kind of numbers on a 65% company is a really good deal. And but here's why. Triple T, if you're still in here, how many companies have you worked for as an owner operator? Triple T, if you're still in here, I already know the answer, but you can answer that if you want. It's a very low number. And so, and Daniel, this isn't directed at you. This is directed at somebody else that was in Triple T's live feed. Consistency is key. You've been to 2, right? There you go. I do need an ESP guitar. Welcome back. So let's use Triple T as a perfect example. And this is why I like the guy. I know he doesn't like me, but this is why I like the guy. He's consistent, right? He's consistent in what he does. Now, he has a pretty expensive truck, but don't we all? And he took the Landstar system and he made it work, and that's great. Why? It's because of consistency. Whenever you job hop, whenever you change your plan over and over without mastering what you're originally doing, John, it's tough to be successful without consistency. He likes you, he just bleeds blue. And to me, that's the most important thing. So when I went to Schneider, I was able to achieve consistency that I couldn't find at Landstar. Okay. Consistently on the low boards, consistently choosing the good loads, consistently keeping my costs down. I made adjustments. I bought a different truck, changed my running areas a couple of times, changed my approach of how I looked at loads, thanks to the wisdom of Jeffrey Like and him mastering the system. And what I found was at Landstar, the best way to succeed was the long haul game. The best money I made at Landstar was due to the long haul. But I'm not a long haul kind of guy anymore. So Schneider was a better fit, but mainly because of consistency. I didn't have the feast or famine with their low board that I did with Landstar. Now, some of that's the area, some of that was there was a little recession going on at that time. The rates dropped pretty low. The lowest I've ever seen the DAP board rates before the vid, right? But for the most part, I had trouble with consistency. You make your bed every day, you put your shoes on every day. That's something that you've mastered, right? It's the same thing in business. It's the same thing as being a company driver. It's everything. Consistency is key to success. If you consistently do bad things will happen to you. And so I worked for one company as a company driver. So when people ask me, what do you think about this company? What do you think about that company? What do you think about this? I really can't answer that question because I didn't work for anybody else. Meanwhile, I know people that worked for 9 companies in like 5 years, and I'm not that guy because number one, I hate orientation. I hate all the safety stuff that you got to go over and over and over and over, right? Do it once, and then you got to learn somebody else's system. How do they do their logs? How do you log your pre-trips? How do you do the paperwork, right? And and for me, once is enough, right? Once is enough. And now, there's nothing wrong with leaving a company if they're mistreating you. There's nothing wrong with leaving a company if they're taking money from you. But you got to get rid of the grass is greener on the other side when you haven't mastered the grass that you got now. That isn't there a saying like that? In order, before you think the grass is greener on the other side, you have to water your own, right? You have to water your own. And that is so true. It's true with anything in life, not just trucking, in anything. Your job, your spouse, everything. No one knows how to be consistent anymore, it seems like. No one knows how to give it the old college try. No one knows how to just stay at a place and make it work. And that's what triggered me. And, you know, when I went to the spot market, I was nervous. I was worried about the feast or famine thing. I was really worried about that. But here's the beauty of the spot market. Whether you like long haul or short haul, depending on where you live, you can make it work. If you want to do nothing but light loads, you can make that work. If you want to do, specialize, you can make that work. The spot market has a variety of things. So it was the same platform as Landstar, but with a lot more options. Because instead of Landstar's low board, I have all the low boards. Okay. As long as our factory company approves it, we're good to go. So that means more options. Last time I was in Columbus, Ohio, I did a load search, 100-mile radius. There was 1,200 loads picking up the next day. That's how good the spot market is. So, in this kind of market, it's easy to make money. Now, with that being said, what are you consistently doing in the market, right? And I'll read the comments. I'll take a break and read the comments here in a minute. I don't want to get too far behind, but I want to get this thought out. One of the secrets of why I do what I do and why I can do what I do is because of consistency. I'm the same guy that will do the same thing over and over and over because it works. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm not trying to think the grass is greener anywhere else. There was a time where I was thinking about my authority, but I've kind of calmed that down. And Jeff has given me opportunity to stay, and incentives to stay. And I think that Jeff appreciates the fact that I've been with him since the beginning of his authority, fairly close, right? Jeff, how long were you in business before I came on? Was it a year? I mean, not in business, but as under your own authority. And so I'm one less person that he has to worry about. My paperwork's always right. My process is always right. I don't forget to give them rate cons, that kind of thing. And whether you're a carrier looking for drivers or a driver looking for a carrier, consistency is key to anything that you want to accomplish. If I play this thing 6 hours a day, I'm probably going to get pretty good. It was a year. Okay. I'm probably going to get good, right? I've been in bands for over 25 years. So I can pretty much step in a metal band and hold my own because I did it consistently forever. We were always playing out. So I've got a live scenario that I've got a live system that I can play. I've got, we were as a band, Apnea was very disciplined. We were like clockwork. We were easy to work with because we were consistent. Our sound was consistent. Our attitude was consistent. It's all about consistency. And so when we get applicants at like trucking, that's one of the things that Jeff looks at. That's one of the things I look at is, are you consistent with the companies that you're at? Like we were looking at a guy that was at a mega carrier for 4 years, paid off his lease truck there. And the only reason why he's not here is because we don't have trailers. And that is what we're looking for. That is what you should be looking for in yourself. Okay? There's nothing wrong with improving your situation, but you have to master the situation that you're in before you can make that determination. Right? Right? So let's go to comments. You guys have been commenting like crazy. TJ Jones in the house. Lugnut. I've only ever worked for Schneider since being USA since 2014. And what did you get out of that, Britt? You've got a truck that's paid off, and you made 265 or 267,000 at Schneider after their percentage. Excellente, excellente. Um, Rick LP, thoughts on the 110-year sentence the trucker got in Colorado? There's a petition online to release him. Rick, we can get into that here in a little bit. 65% is leaving too much on the table. He must be starving for a long time before he made it work. I don't know about that. Landstar money was not that great, says Jeff, back when the rates back then don't compare to COVID rates. I try not to do bad things, but bad stuff seems to seek me out. That's not true, Steve. Most of my loads are under 700 miles, and the one I just did paid me 2,000 to the truck for a one-day run. That's good. That's good, Triple T. And that's the sweet spot. That was the sweet spot for me, was 700-800 mile runs when I was at Landstar. There was only one time I went up to Pacific Northwest, and a lot of times I would go from like Laredo to Minnesota, and that's also a pretty good stretch of miles. Contract rates are consistent. Yes, Britt. Sometimes they're lower than the spot, and sometimes they're higher in the spot. But contract rates for tanker are definitely consistent and good. But there is no consistency in OTR. That's not true, Lugnut. Burgers, do more YouTube and all your fortunes will come true. I spray for weeds on that side of the fence. Very true, says Nothing Witty. Yeah, Steve Berger's got a few things to talk about. That's absolutely true. The best statement you've ever said: if he can increase revenue, cut costs. There you go. Thank you, Rat Man. I appreciate that, especially from a very good businessman as yourself. And that's true. You need meat on the bone. You know, you need meat on the bone. And if you have to shave off a little bit of meat, you can. There's a few expenses I can cut right now if I had to. But if my expenses increase, then I'll make that work as well. Having the flexibility to do that's key. I'm going to like trucking where the safety director believes safety is a one-time deal. LVC, you know what I meant. And it is about the Brit. It is about the net Brit, right? I had a Landstar niche, which was A&E and blanket wrap coast to coast for 10 years. Yep, and you did very well with that. I need to get more focus. I'm all over the place, but I run hard. And that's the thing. People, and John, I'm going to pick on you a little bit. Just because you run hard doesn't mean you're going to succeed. I know plenty of people that ran circles around me, ran twice as much miles as I did, made twice as much money as I did, but they still went out of business because they couldn't keep consistency. They couldn't keep their costs down. They worked harder, not smarter, and that's the key. Consistency. And look, I'm not bragging, right? I'm not perfect. You guys will probably laugh at my numbers, but yet I've designed it that way. I don't need to be a slave to the truck. I don't need to be out here 3,000 miles a week. I don't need to be out here 28 days a month. And that's before Jeff's safety stuff, right? That was before Jeff's safety stuff. Run smarter, not harder. There you go, John. That's where I tell contractors to start with Schneider Tanker is focus, know your trade, and you can run smart. First thing Jeff told me at Schneider, short game, baby. Look back 2 weeks on the IC board. There are tricks to the big orange trade. Yep. That's the key with Schneider Britt, as well as you know. I knew Steve was that guitarist in Phil Collins band. Landstar I found was too click oriented. It's what agents you knew. And cool trucking, look, that is absolutely true. And if I would have caught on to that early, I think I would have been a little bit better there. The problem was, I had lunch with several agents. We would hang out, we would talk, but they didn't have consistent freight. So I would friend an agent and they would go out of business within 6 months, or they would change, or they would get fired, or they would lose their loads, right? Eddie Drotar took him 3 times. Say hi, Snorelord. Why is Rock dead? Rock is not dead. A partner of mine just sold his truck and trailer. He feels like he went out on top after 27 years OTR. Mr. Somewhere, that's great. Look, if you sell your truck in this market and you're happy, then you're happy. That isn't that the goal? Isn't that the goal? Is to reach contentment, right? The more successful you are at trucking, the better it is. If you're slaving away at 35 cents a mile, having to do runs over the holidays, you're probably not very happy. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. If you are, cool. If you aren't, you can change that. You can try something smarter, you can try something better, figure out, friend the people that are doing what you want to do, and copy them. There's nothing wrong with copying somebody. Old boy had 190K in his maintenance account. There you go. You all are just old. I have time on my side. Yes, you do. Chucky, getting your act together while you're still young definitely puts you in advantage. Right. And look, Chucky lives in a world where he's friends with a lot of successful people and me. And but he's got 10 years on all of us. So if I knew then what I know now, there's no telling where I'd be right now. Horny Gene Simmons, Rock is dead. Well, because he's irritated that his sales are down because his band has turned into a bad old man cover band. I stay away from the third-party agents who use the low boards you use. I do good with direct shipper agents. And there you go. And why does that work, Triple T? Because of consistency. I have a friend in the spot market that does primarily Landstar loads, and he is doing extremely well for himself. Pale Rider says, GNC, hire me as your safety guy so I can work from home. There you go. You're an average of your 5 closest friends. I heard that recently. I think there's some truth in it. I absolutely. Nevada, what's up? Shannon, what's up? Good evening. And look, I get it. You have to find the root of your discontentment. You have to find the root of your fears. You have to find the root of why you're not where you want to be right now. And that takes a lot of self-honesty, humility, and a lot of people just aren't willing to do that. I know that I'm not sometimes. I know that I wasn't 5 years ago. I know that I wasn't 10 years ago. I refused to listen to a lot of the business advice that people were giving me for a long time. And I get the frustration of people not listening. Look, and my wife told me, she says, you got to stop taking it personally when no one listens to you. I'm like, I know, because that happens with everybody, right? I mean, look at our government, they don't listen to us. Look where we're at. Exactly, Triple T. Yes, those loads are 95% ship rate and seldom cancel. And, and look, the most successful people here in the spot market and at Landstar work for the same agents, work for the same lanes. They work for the same brokers, just park, Grafton, good deal. Sometimes you find you really don't want what you thought you did. That's true, Cool Truck, and that is true. We are lucky on Snyder Tanker board, no agents involved. And look, Jeffrey Light did a really good video, Snyder versus Landstar. And I'm not going to say one's better than the other because it just depends on your needs, right? There's a lot of people that came to Landstar from Snyder that are happy, like Trucker for Life. And there are a lot of people like me and Jeff that were happier at Snyder than Landstar. So it just depends on what your needs are. Now, when Jeff was at Snyder, the last 2 years he was there, he was primarily doing 3 loads in a 2 state area, consistently. Kept his miles down, it kept his profit up. He had that lease truck that was paid per mile, and he did really good like that. He really mastered the short game, but he had the ability to look at a low board and tell you how to run your short game depending on where you lived, or a strategy if you didn't live in certain areas, how to utilize that. And Berger has the same skills as well. Number 12. Good evening. Nothing witty. My wife is the smartest broad I know. Pale Rider and I serious about that. I'm trying to build that. I see that path, but I need a few things and some time. In Pennsylvania, just completed a 2-week project with Walmart. Found a super cool quick fill truck plaza, mom and pop type. Found it by accident. Decided to take my 34 here for the weekend. Showers, $5. Awesome. Snorelord safety dispatching service coming soon. Home life is good. We're gonna start dabbling in the dispatch world, but we'll have to see how that works. Witty Lord of Snore's wife is pretty smart. I also hear she's a good cook and makes some mean spaghetti. She does. Time is not my friend. I'm old, says a little Pale Rider. And look, like I said, and I know Daniel Adami doesn't like me anymore. And I know that there are people that don't watch my channel anymore because I've gotten political at times, or I've talked doom and gloom, or I'm kind of a pretentious ass sometimes, and I get that. I can't even watch my own videos, the replays, because I don't know, I have a self-esteem issue, okay? But what I am confident in is that consistency has got me where I'm at today. Like my marriage. My wife and I, we've been married over 20 years. We've been together for 22. We've got 5 years left on this house because we've stayed here for 20 years, I don't even switch vehicles. I mean, I've got a 20-year-old pickup. I've got a 10-year-old van. It's a Chevy. God help me. And I have, then we got, my wife's got this little Ford 3-banger. I am secure first class a little bit. Nah, to be honest with you, I do have a confidence level in certain things. Like when it comes to like the band, whenever Apnea would play a gig, we had confidence. I didn't care who we were playing with. We had confidence. I don't really take it to heart when people want to make fun of me for my hair, for my beard, or for my music, for how I look. I know that in some YouTube circles, there are some owner operators that say I don't work enough. There are some that say that I'm not successful. There are some that say that I don't know what I'm doing, which is fine. That doesn't bother me. I really don't. I really don't care. Does this look like the face that someone that gives a shit about what other people think about me? Does that I was a singer for a death metal band. Do you think I care what other people think about me? Now, I do get a little bit offended, maybe not offended, but irritated when I have some decent advice and it goes over your head. But only if I have to repeat it over and over and over, and you ask me the same questions over and over and over, right? Family makes it hard to be consistent. How so, Eddie? How so? Pigtails in the house. Nevada, not much going on. Shoveling snow. Beast mode. I don't know. I know that. I don't know. I think it's a personal reason. And and I'm not going to bring the drama to my channel. So you look like you live with a certain zen. Yeah, no, my wife would laugh. She's probably laughing at that comment. I'm a I I have my moments. I have my moments when I got to kick myself in the ass. I have my moments when I get angry. I have my own moments when I react. Um, I'm human. I'm not like, you know, I'm nobody special, right? And here's what's important to me: balance, right? It does me no good to make 300,000 a year but never see my family. It does me no good if I only make 10,000 a year and always see my family. Okay? Because then we're broke, right? Then we struggle. We don't need that struggles. So it's about balance. It's about family outside of trucking life and business. And when you've got too much debt, you're a slave to it. When you have a non-supportive family, or you're not able to fulfill their needs emotionally, that's hard. Look, it took me a long time to get here. I mean, the first 5 years of me being a truck driver as a company guy was tough. I mean, my kids were little, and my wife had to learn how to be practically a single mom. I had to learn how to be a stranger in my own home, and that's not easy to deal with emotionally. That's not easy to deal with. Now, the money was good, but I didn't have any freedom, you know. And if the kids had a special event, I couldn't be there. Now, Transland treated me good. It was part of the life. And I went into it knowing what the life was because I'm the son of a truck driver. So it's not like I went into it blindly. And my wife knew what she was getting into because her dad was a truck driver. So it's not like we went into it blindly. And I think that gave us an upper hand to adjust. But there's still an emotional result of that. And I'm going to start getting into like cortisol and dopamine and that kind of stuff when it comes to diet and stress and all the factors that kind of mess with your thinking, that kind of make you think that the grass is greener somewhere else, or it allows you to procrastinate and not work on your numbers and think that if I just change companies, or if I just change jobs, or if I just change trucks, everything will be better. And that's not true. Sometimes it's true, but for the most part, you have to fix yourself before you can before you can succeed. And you have to consistently work on yourself, whether it be your physical health, your mental health, your financial health. All of it runs together. You know, try not to be triggered, try not to overreact. You need time to think about a situation. Yes, you want to be able to make a decision off the fly, but at the same time, the more calm you are, the better decision you can make. And in business, you can't make emotional decisions. Have I done that? Absolutely. I'll give you a hint. The last month I was at Landstar, I already had my hire date at Schneider. I was over it. I was sitting there in New Braunfels, Texas, looking at $1.30 mile freight on the low board coming out of Laredo, going nowhere where I wanted to go. And my mother called and she said, "What do you want for Christmas?" I said, "Mom, I want to come home." And so she gave me enough money to last the rest of the month that the house needed. And I went home, and it was one of the best Christmas gifts I've gotten, because I was able to sit home the whole month of December until my orientation date at Schneider. And then from there, things got better because I had consistency, right? And that took a long time, guys. I've been an owner operator for 7 years. I'm on my second truck. I own my truck and trailer. The only thing I haven't done is my own authority, and I was close to doing that, and I've kind of backed off on that because I'm learning that there's more to this than just having your own authority. Because I don't want to hire drivers under my own numbers. I don't want to put a company driver in my truck. I want to invest in trailers. I want to invest in being a good dispatcher. I want to invest in being a business owner with multiple streams of income, because that's to me is what balance is all about. And it takes a while, and you can't achieve that if you're consistently moving around. You can't achieve that if you don't fix your problems, if you don't know how to manage your money, if you don't know how to manage your home life, if you're having trouble finding that balance. Again, I know people that drove circles around me and they have absolutely nothing to show for it. I have people that made double of what I make on my net, and they have nothing to show for it except heartache, pain, stress, and bad health. See? And that is what's important, right? That is what's important. And do I have all the answers? Absolutely not. Have I been lucky on a few things? Absolutely. Do I take that for granted? Absolutely not. You know, and I'm telling you guys, with every fiber of my being, you have to be physically, mentally, and spiritually strong to succeed at anything in your life, whether it be trucking, a hot dog stand, or whatever you want to do. You have to have those three things together, because they all work hand in hand. What good's your CDL? What good's all that money in the bank if you're in the hospital, and your leg's about to be chopped off because you have diabetes and you didn't take care of yourself? What good is that? What good was all that running? What good was trashing your health? If what good was that money if you're trashing your health? You know, it's you know, people drivers are more likely to polish their wheels than to eat the right things. And I get it. The cortisol, the everything, these foods are addictive, and it's easy to let stress get the best of you. How many of you watching this video right now tried to quit smoking and then up smoking again because of stress? Because there was something in your life that happened that made you go back to the cigarettes. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And for I'm turning 50. Can you believe that? I'm turning 50 next month. And there's quite a few things I've learned, and most of the stuff that's really helped me I've learned in the last 10 years being a truck driver, being a business owner. You know? And and you have to have a plan. You have to have a plan B. You have to have a plan C. You have to have a plan D. And you also have to have an exit plan, because we can't stay in the truck. If you want to be 80 years old and be in the truck, that's great. But you still need a way to get out if need to, right? If you want to drive a truck at 80, it's better if you want to, but it's not better if you have to, right? So that's what I'm getting at. And that's what's so frustrating to me, because I see so many people with so much potential, right? They got good work ethics. But they just don't do the simple things that can make their lives easier, make their lives more balanced, and make their business, and consistency is one of the first things that you can conquer. Every day that I'm home, I try to do something that's positive towards, like, some little mini goal, whether it's to do a chore around the house, or to get on the computer and do stuff for the safety position. I have to accomplish something every day, or else I will get depressed. I will get, I will get sad. I mean, I'm not immune to sadness. I'm not immune to depression. Ask anybody that's known me for the last 15, 20 years. You'll be like, This is a different Steve than the one I knew, right? So, and it's taken me a long time to achieve that. Sorry, Steve. Up at 4 a.m. today for live delivery. I'm falling asleep. Good night. Be safe out there. Blessings all. Trucker table. I don't know what you're talking about. On Queen Latifah. Top 10 Zen zones. Say that 5 times fast. So true on that statement. Stranger in your own home. I look back and say it ain't it, right? My Zen is at the range, says Jeff. Um, oh, we're talking about Queens. Okay. Let's see. Never think you know everything. You will be humbled every time. Absolutely, Chucky. I don't know anything. I'm hoping when I'm done driving, I can transition Landstar agent. Yes, Triple T. I mean, I know people are doing very well with that. You know, I mean that could be a good thing. Pale Rider agrees. Six Semper Tyrannus agrees. Pigtail agrees. I have the answer. God will always give you the answer, but you have to be willing to listen and be able to recognize the answer. There you go, Chucky. Sometimes the message has to be literally beat in your face, right? Um, you know, and we're going to do a rant about a couple other things that are not trucking related here in the near future. Quit for 6 months and started again for 10 years, then quit cold turkey, smoke free, now for 2 years. Excellent, Eddie. You know, that makes me happy because anybody that can quit smoking, you know, you have an exit bag in the truck. Who in here can picture yourself driving past 70? I did an interview with a guy who retired at 79 after 50 plus years of trucking. A trucker named Jay just put out a video, kidney failure on dialysis at 29. Wow. That's one of my biggest fears, LVC. There's going to be a variety of opportunities as we grow. We'll keep adjusting, making the contractors over here a great opportunity for expansion with other streams of revenue available too, the ones that want more. A person can do nothing better than to eat and drink and find satisfaction in their own toll. This too I see is from the hand of God. That name, chapters 224. There you go. Jeff, I'm looking to purchase Snyder like truck in Nevada. The Matic Brit's got ambition, right? He's got ambition. Diceman going live. What's up? Another successful friend that I've surrounded myself with who's doing very well. Earl Nightingale in The Strangest Secret say people don't know why they do what they do. They just conform. Fran, part of self-analysis is figuring out why people do what they do. Like, why do you go off the deep end, or why do people look for the grass is greener, right? There's a psychological evaluation that you have to do, that we have to do to ourselves. And you know, people have always said, like, Steve, I would make a good bartender because I listen and I seem to have a different perspective on things. Like, I understand people a little bit better. Jeff likes me in this position because I can talk to the drivers without sounding like an a-hole. And there, now I'm not a chameleon. I couldn't like be in a CEO's meeting and probably keep up with that. But I think I can hold my own in most conversations, whether it be with a drug addict or a CEO. I think I can be respectful and you know, but that's understanding how ego works, understanding how narcissism works, understanding how joy and depression works, because I've had all those things. You know, I've been a narcissist, I've been an egomaniac, I've been humbled. I've been, you know, rock bottom. I've been homeless. You know, a lot of people don't know that about me. I've been homeless. And I've been on top of the world. You know, when I was a kid, we went from a 2-story full in-ground pool farmhouse that was the shiznit to a single wide trailer with my room the size of that, you know, that that humbles you pretty good. And it wasn't even within my control. It was a mistake that my dad had made, you know. Um, I've lived poor and I've lived good. You know, we didn't have money all the time growing up. I've had ramen noodle dinners when I was a teenager because that's all we had. And when you come from rock bottom, there's only one direction to go, and that's up. You know, and it wasn't because I never got into drugs. I was never an alcoholic. Um, I just was horrible at money and didn't have any motivation. You know, I didn't know how to rise above. You know, it was easier for me to be a king of the misfits versus trying to achieve something more than that. And it wasn't until I wanted to get away from that I finally did. And so most of the things that I talk about that people might consider good advice, which blows my mind, is because to me it's common sense. To me it's just having a different perspective. But most of the things that I've learned the hard way. I've done I've almost failed at the trucking business. Um, I've made bad decisions. I've made emotional decisions, you know. There was a time when, I mean, hell, I've been married to the same woman for 20 years and we've had our ups and downs, but you know, we got through and our relationship is stronger than it's ever been. You know, and but because it's consistent, the willing to work things out and consistency, that's what creates success. Whether it's your job, your marriage, anything. And to me, that's common sense. But sometimes it's hard to see that. You know, sometimes it's hard to see the forest from the trees. And I think that social media makes us focus on the wrong things. You know, we're so worried about what other people doing that we don't realize what we're doing to ourselves. You know, we're too busy looking over there, going, look at that. That's horrible. That's meanwhile, what's right in front of you is messed up, right? And, and it's just like traffic. You know, if you're in 5 lanes of traffic in Houston, if you're only concentrating on the car in front of you, you could have a wreck. But if you're only concentrating on the cars away from you, you could have a wreck. You got to look at the whole picture, right? There's a safety tip for you truck drivers. That's a safety tip. Look at the whole picture. Have a means to an out. It's the same thing, you know? Don't put yourself in a situation where you don't have an out. That's with life, that's with business, that's with trucks, that's with traffic, that's with everything. Have a way out, but look at the whole picture so you can react accordingly and don't react off of emotion. So, cool truck, and I quit after 22 years of smoking 26 years ago. Awesome. Excellent. Let's see. 2023 is when my retirement from trucking takes place, says welcome back. Good deal. We're counting down with you there. Marty, we have to be completely honest with ourselves, which is very difficult to do. Marty, I get it. That is absolutely 100% true. Um, I've always had a problem at losing motivation. I need a support group. Cool trucking. There's a video that I could send you. Text me and I can kind of I can kind of send you the link of why that happens. It may not fix the problem, but I can definitely tell you why we lose motivation. I can get into that. Thomas Wilson's in the house. The solitude of trucking has helped me grow and heal many wounds. Shannon, that's a good statement. Now, when I've battled depression, that solitude can work against you as well, right? Your mind is your own worst enemy. Make your mind your friend. Let me repeat that for you guys. Make your mind your friend. What does your inner voice tell you? You know, is it telling you you're a piece of crap? Or is it telling you you're a good person? Is it telling you, is it giving you confidence, or is it destroying your confidence? Make your mind your friend. And that's difficult to do. I have trouble with that every single day. Those are great safety points. Thank you. My old man said to me, find something you love and let it kill you. That's interesting. Pigtail says, embrace fear, take calculated risk, and live every day like it's your last. There you go. That's a great saying. Pigtail says, embrace fear, take calculated risk, and live every day like it's your last. And like I said, I'm not perfect. I'm just another person struggling just like you, right? We're all struggling in some form or another. I really love trucking, have since I was about 4 years old, but I love my family more. And look, Triple T, look, I vowed that I would never do to my kids what my dad had to be he had to be out there all the time, right? It wasn't until he became when we moved to Missouri, he got a really good job running a dedicated route to Florida and back. Drop and hook, didn't have to deal with brokers, didn't have to deal with truck payments, he didn't have to deal with breakdowns. Left out on Sunday, home every Thursday, making 60 grand a year back in 1989. And so it allowed him time. That's when our relationship got better. That was when, you know, he could fish, he was happier, you know, and and the best times that I had with my dad was when we were in the truck because that was the only time I really got to see him. And again, it's about balance, right? It's about balance. And so I vowed to never be a slave to the truck. I vowed that I would never be a slave to a company unless it was my company that I was willing to help grow. Like in other words, you know, the safety thing is a 24/7 position. Like what Jeff does is 24/7. He's constantly on the phone, he's constantly busy. There's always a fire to put out. But I would rather do that than to be a slave to a truck payment or to have to run when I don't want to or to have to run over Christmas because I didn't make my truck payment last week. You know, that's not me. I'm never going to be that guy because to me that's a form of slavery. And and now am I afraid to take certain risks sometimes? Yeah, I'm not going out and buying a new pickup truck like I really want to, but only because I don't want to be forced to put in a situation where I'm going to miss out on something like, you know, like my daughter had an orchestra concert, first time since the vid, and I got to see it, you know. I've been able to help my wife out a lot, which is this is a stressful time of year for her because, you know, it's Christmas, you know, all moms get get busy over Christmas, you know, especially moms with the younger kids. And so to have the freedom to be able to stay home and help out with that, you know, and then my own mental health. I hate being out there sometimes during holidays because people are just seem to be nasty to each other. This is the worst time of year to be driving, I think. You know, and then January you got the snow and all that. That kind of really starts up in my neck of the woods, but it's about balance. Look, and if I have to run coast to coast, I have the ability and the knowledge to do so. Um, it's not like I can't go out of my comfort zone. Do I stay in my comfort zone? Yes. Has it been my Achilles heel at times? Absolutely. And that's where the balance comes in, you know? Um, and I'm not perfect. I am not perfect, you know? And so like Daniel Adami, he's mad at me and I kind of know why, but at the same time I feel bad because I feel like maybe I failed him because he has come to me for help. and I haven't been able to help him with his problems, right? Um, and so I feel bad because I failed him. Um, and that's how I look at it. That's how I look. If if I can help somebody and I'm not able to, I feel like that I failed, and so I live with that. I love my wife. Is she going to kill me? Just customize your old truck. That ninja, what's up? Steve and chat have to go as far as 2 a.m. start, but great conversation as always. And everyone have a great Christmas and a prosperous New Year from the British contingent of Steve's channel. I like that. Britt, you're an awesome dude. Britt is a good dude, man. I've talked to him on the phone. He's got a great channel. And he's got a good work ethic. He's giving us Yanks a run for our money. So do tankers sleep? Who knew? So, but anyways, we are at an hour. I appreciate every single one of you. Now, those you members, I tried to do a members first video. I did it. For some reason, the notifications don't go out on those, and you have to practically be on my community page to see that. So the next time I touch a computer, I will make that public for everybody. Guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate the members. I appreciate the support. I did hit 4,000. I know it's nothing near Pale Rider, but I did hit 4,000 subscribers this past week. And, and I would say Merry Christmas and all that jazz, but it's still like, what, a week and a half to Christmas? And more than likely, I'll be live again before then. And you got it in your email? Okay. So I don't have all the answers. I mean, if you really knew me, I don't have all the answers. I try to be as honest as I can without revealing, 100% of my life. I'm not going to tell you every detail of my life, as entertaining as that might be. But at the same time, we all have our struggles. We all have our victories. We all are fighting this thing called life. Life wasn't meant to be fair. Business is not supposed to be fair. We are all meant to struggle to become stronger. Pain is supposed to teach you lessons. And I've definitely had my share. And if I can kind of alleviate some of the pain and help you along, then I will. So thanks for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. Peace.